G'day guys, Kristen Harper here with Glenn Morrison, and this quick session of CEO and a salesperson's perspective, we'll be talking about why ride along. Glenn, why ride along?
Well, I sort of think about this from a manager's point of view. Why would you ride along with your sales team? Why would you get in the car and go from appointment to appointment? One of the things that I learned years ago was when you're coaching a salesperson or anybody through to a skill level, you need to understand that when you try and provide them with a new skill, they're feeling really uncomfortable about it. So you have to coach them through that process.
Yeah.
So when you ride along, what you're looking to do is to show them how to do things and develop the skills they need and make them feel comfortable working with you. So the reason you're doing that is to give them support and help. And the number one thing I learned many years ago is when you get in the car, you need to ask them a simple question. What is the single sentence statement of purpose for this meeting we're going to have with the customer? Why are we going there? And in most cases, they can't tell you.
Yeah.
They'll just say, oh, we're just going to see Mary and we're going to do something. But it's not really a strong purpose. Many times they'll say, oh, we're just going to see somebody.
Yeah.
I would recommend that you say to them, stop the car. We're not going anywhere until you can write down a solid purpose for the meeting.
Yeah.
So you know the objective and what you're going to get out of it. Because if you don't go in there with a purpose, you're just wasting their time.
And do you think some people, you're definitely right, and that's sort of how I've learned in the past. And do you think some sales reps may feel intimidated when they get a ride along? And I guess that comes back to the leadership and that side of it as well.
Well, they do first up, but if you do it in the right way, they learn to enjoy it. It should be an enjoyable experience where you're both learning from each other.
Yeah.
And if you have a purpose, even if it's a very simple purpose, and you achieve that, when you come out of the meeting, of course, you're high-fiving, you build rapport, customers happy, you're happy. It's moving the business forward.
Yeah, and I also think with the ride along as well is what I'd like to do if I'm taking anybody out is doing actually planning for the meeting on just what you're saying there. So having that purpose and that really what do we want to get out of this meeting? And then after the meeting, having a debrief. So sitting there and go, this went really well. Let's talk about this. And generally what I do is I'll ask, the rep, what are your thoughts on it? And let's sort of stress it out, because I find generally when you do a ride along, you've got two people will hear and see different things. Mm-hmm. And I think with both of you looking at it, it's quite a good way to actually come up with an overall approach for that next step.
Yeah. And that I think afterwards is, sorry, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I think it's all about the rapport you have with your teammate as well. Because again, if you're going in, you've got one is the manager, the other is the sales rep, but they feel quite intimidated. I think the clients pick that up as well. Whereas I've had in the past, actually my old boss used to go out and we'd just give each other slight digs through the meeting, but in a good way, just being quite cheeky. But it just sort of showed a wee bit of good rapport, and I felt that from a prospect and client's point of view, that they felt a bit more sort of at ease rather than sort of being sold to.
Yep. And the other thing I've done many times, and I won't tell anybody, and I'm probably breaking the law doing this, is to get my phone out before I go in, press record. Obviously, don't show it recording.
Yeah.
Put it on the table, or keep it in my pocket. When you have the coffee with the salesperson afterwards, you can play parts of it back to them, because they won't have heard some of the things that were said.
Yeah.
The customer will have said that they'll give out a clear buying signal, and the salesperson will just carry on talking.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a really interesting way to do it, because I've actually never thought about that.
Oh,
I think
it's so powerful. And it's great learning for both parties, where the manager could have been more constructive and helpful, and where the salesperson could have listened better. So it's worth trying.
Yeah, great. Okay. Let's ride along. Cheers, Glenn.
Cheers.